So last week, I put out a pretty glowing review of the Oneplus Pad 3, and the reception to that video has been amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who have subscribed. It really is helping me get this small channel of mine up and running, so I do massively appreciate it. But in the comments, I noticed a few of you helpfully popping up saying that the one thing that actually put you off this tablet was that Netflix didn't support HDR on it, which really surprised me. So I decided to do some digging. So I had obviously spent a lot of time on the screen when prepping for the main video, and I thought it looked fantastic, and that in most situations, you just don't notice the difference between it and higher end displays on much more expensive tablets. In fact, in some situations, this actually looks better because it is such a high resolution. And I do still stand by that. This is a fantastic looking screen, 80% of the time. My main criticism of it at the time was that it's just an OLED panel like the higher end tablets normally have. So in the dark, you do get raised blacks. It just doesn't look anywhere near as good as you get on an OLED screen. But that's a compromise, of course, to get the price of the tablet down, which I think most people would be happy with. It's what makes this an excellent tablet for most people, rather than an excellent tablet for the small group of people who want a best out there tablet, regardless of the price, money, no object. But what I hadn't noticed at the time, which is a bit of a disappointment, was the difference in HDR performance. In fact, digging deeper, this goes well beyond the Netflix compatibility that was mentioned by people in the comment section. I actually think OnePlus just hasn't built any HDR capability into the software of this tablet for some reason, which is really odd because the screen should be capable of it. It has 600 nits of brightness or 900 in high bright mode. It covers 98% of the P3 color space. This is a good screen, which makes this all a little bit odd. So inside of Netflix, I have their premium subscription, which is way too expensive, but you need it to give you access to HDR playback. But if we go into the app settings, playback specification, and you can see HDR capabilities, none. And sure enough, when you boot up content, it looks great when it's normal, not HDR content, which I think is what I was probably watching on it when I was looking at it for the main video. But if you do boot up some good HDR content, like I'm watching Stranger Things, for example, the new season at the moment, and you put it next to the S11 Ultra with its fantastic OLED screen, or even the iPad Air, to be honest, there is just no question about it. The OnePlus, it isn't HDR. And this doesn't just seem to be a Netflix problem either. If we boot up YouTube and find LG's famous HDR video, there's again a big difference. This video is great, by the way. Absolutely use this if you're trying to see how good your display is at home. And I hope this difference does show up on camera. In person, it is really obvious. So, who knows what's really going on here? But if I had to guess, I think OnePlus might just have not built any HDR functionality into their software, because I see no reason why the display spec isn't capable of showing HDR content. The iPad Air is actually a lower spec display with lower brightness, and that works fine after all. In order for HDR to turn on, of course, the streaming services, they need a handshake back from the device to say, yes, I am capable, please give me HDR. Specifically, of course, they need Dolby Vision or more likely HDR10. And I think OnePlus might just not have programmed in HDR10 support, which I do find hard to believe. It seems like a pretty major omission for a modern tablet. Perhaps there's something else going on behind the scenes that I'm not seeing. If you think I'm missing something, please do let us know in the comments section. But yeah, for now, anyway, it certainly seems like no HDR at all on the OnePlus Pad 3, which is a real shame. I do want to say again though, I don't want this to be too negative, it is still a very, very good display. In everyday use, watching normal content on it, it does look amazing. It's just not HDR. Okay, clarification done. In fact, my daughter is just waking up for her nap, perfect timing, and we're gonna put up the Christmas decoration. So that is all for now. I'm gonna pack all this away. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. You are all amazing.